Hey guys, it's Danny Go here. Here with my weekly result show. So I mean the purpose of this is just kind of one, tracking my results. Two, hopefully maybe people learn something, and maybe I learned something. Definitely I've got a lot of helpful comments from viewers. Some of them have been educational, and I do implement some of it in my game, and it's always I would say, important thing is always just growing, and progressing and learning, obviously having fun as well. But I mean it, because it is kind of in this sort of game, you want to have results, so that's part of it helps you have more fun by having more results because you can do more. So definitely I think it's good for me to kind of, do this, and I hope that it's good for some of you and maybe interesting. So probably gonna work on this taming daily. I think while we do this sort of somewhat. Um, hopefully it won't be too distracting. If it is, I'll just sweat. Let me get that key mapped in there. All right. So there we go. Try to tame it. This week was better, for sure. I actually ended up a little bit very slightly ahead, although that's kind of you know, maybe put a little bit of a caveat on that, in that I just sweat while I go to the other screen. Um, the caveat is that that positive was um, almost very small. You can see it was about 40 peds. And most of it, because you see this kind of downward movement, most of that was actually from a lot of MU from selling stuff. So, plus I also got a $10 gift card from the app Misplay that I deposited into the game. Basically, Misplay, I pick a PayPal payout, and then PayPal. If you have a card with PayPal, you can put from your card into the game. So it's like 100 ped. So between that and selling a lot of MU, and I probably didn't get nearly as much MU this week as I sold. In some ways, you can see the result is actually a little bit negative. It means I'm still losing on TT. But on the other hand, it was um, um, not heavy losses on TT, so I was actually able to overcome it, and I did make some good progress. I did feel that the rate of drop has slowed a lot, which makes me think that I do think that at some point I'm going to end up in a reversal pattern. Whether it is a huge HOF or just a string of a lot of globals, you know, I think that at some point the game will do that for me. But it's kind of just being smart. And so mining, I did get a mining global on Toulon. I guess there weren't enough trackers to track it, but it was like a 60-ish ped list. Hunting, I did a bunch of hunting on both Next Island and or mining on Next Island and Toulon. Did some hunting. Did a lot of small hunting on Toulon, like Tab, um, Caraboa, or I probably pronounced these terribly. But just you know what I mean, or probably, hopefully, I mean it's just a little shellfish mob. But yeah, I mean, so there weren't any globals off of that, but it was good MU, good skill, good good everything for the ped, and then I did some Maphoid on Cali, and then I did some armored whisker fish. My first hunt, my first level codex got really good MU on them, or it was solid MU, and then the next 2 levels I didn't really have good MU. So yeah, it's like and then I did some Zealotith. It felt decent. Definitely I felt like my MU on Cyrene has suffered a little bit, but on the other hand, I was purposely punching codexes, and I didn't want not. Oh, I also did some spider bots. Spider bots felt okay. Maybe a little underwhelming, as well. But I mean, of the 3 mobs, I felt like okay, I'm getting from um something from all of these mobs. You know, like would I punch them to level 25? Well, the Zealotith is part of a mission. You get this like Tyrellian clothes that they have like a mining buff. So I'm gonna, give the Zealotith a lot of time, see how they play out. Just because, especially, if I'm under 10 codex, just see like what's the drop rate of that essence, because if if I could, you know, do those missions, get those clothes, and imbue them myself without too much extra spend, like on the marketplace, um, to me that could be pretty good value long term. It's a very long term play, but it's something to work on if it um, shows potential. I did notice that the Zeldis did have some tier 1 comp, some paint, and I think a little bit of extractors. I mean, not a huge amount, but it's like, okay, I was feeling like, okay, there's enough MU in this mob. If I am maybe getting the essence as I go, this could be interesting, you know. It could not be too much cost to get these clothes, which have all these buffs, for mining, certain forms of construction. Um, so, pro and con on that. Just have to see how it plays out. I didn't do enough to really get a feel. I mean, I didn't get any essence, I guess, but I mean, it's early enough that Um, but yeah, I did a bunch of skill stuff. Got a bunch of mining skills. So definitely improving there a lot. Um, my mineral sense is significantly up. Obviously the 2000s, that's our target minimum. I'm pretty far off of that, but I feel like I'm making really good progress. So the biggest thing um is to continue with that mining, and then obviously in the science, I need to continue with the tree cutting, um, the genetics, making less progress on the genetics, but um, I'm still making progress, so that is good. And I made a bunch of progress on taming. Done a lot more melee recently. Oh, and then I did do a bunch of instances on Toulon. Green Toker was hosting um, instances, in his stream. That was really awesome of him. And I joined along, and that was pretty fun. Got a, it was decent MU, for sure. The you get a lot of those misroll tokens. I'm probably saying it wrong, but they're like you can use them in like to get shops and stuff like that. Um, they probably have a lot of other uses too. But that was really fun. We did some of that. I really enjoyed that actually. It was fun. It was cool that he hosted that, and just it was interesting. Hang out with people. I think there were about 5 people that did it, were there 5 people? I know there were 4 people, but I felt like maybe somebody came and left. There were at least 4 people who we did together, including myself. Maybe 5. But I know there were more. But when I was there, I did about 3 or 4 runs. There were at least 4 unique people, including myself. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed that. That was fun. Um, pushing those levels a little bit, gained a little bit. I gained a little bit everywhere. Um, you know, nothing that's like, oh yeah, like super noticeable, but definitely I gained a little bit everywhere. Total skills is probably definitely up a bit. 33,006, uh, 330,000, 336,000, 181 skills. So that's definitely up a bit. I don't really know where it was, but definitely, it wasn't a huge week, by any means, but I was definitely active, and um, also, I was, with the new, you think with the new year, I would have done a lot, because I have more time off, but we did have kind of, at my work, I believe one person may have quit. We're a department of, well, we're like a group of, like, we have some people who help out also, from another department, but we had like 5 main people, and I believe, I mean, pretty sure she quit, but now I have like a department of 4 people, and I don't think they're going to replace her, um, which is good actually. More job security. I feel like our volume is a little bit down anyway, so um, um, but yeah, it's been that was a lot, for me. It kind of set me back a little bit on just emotionally. I mean, it's just hard, Um, some things they're not like bad long term exactly, but it's just, it's a little bit to deal with, not easy, when people that you've, been around a while just quit. But yeah, this taming daily is really really nice. I mean, I get a lot of skills taming. You can see, I think you can see it on the screen. Hopefully, it's big enough. My little preview is so much smaller than the actual video that you're gonna see on YouTube. So I can't really tell how it exactly looks for you, because it's like, my little preview is like 1/10 of the size of the video. So to me, it's like, okay, that's unreadable, but probably on the video it's readable. But yeah, I'm getting like 1.28 and 1.49 in animal taming and animal lore. Now, obviously, I'm pretty low level. Animal lore is only 593 skills. Taming is a little bit over 1,000. So I'm pretty low level, but you can see at low level you can gain pretty fast. Now, I'm not sure if you try, if some of you who are a little weaker try this, if you'll see as much skill gain, because I do have, a huge amount of meta, and I do believe that it helps you skill faster. Also, I think when you've cycled more peds, they do enable you to gain skill a lot faster. So, me having cycled like 2 million peds, I do think that they do factor that into my skill gain, whereas if you're just starting out, you may not, you actually not may not, I actually would say it's stronger than that, because I believe that you will probably not see quite as much skill gains, um, you know, um, if you get a little bit up like this. But on the other hand, if you're starting low, you're going to see a ton of skill gains, if you're starting at level 1. Um, I mean, unlimited whip is a big investment. I mean, maybe, a few limited whips might not be too much a cost if you're very new. Just do a few just to get a few levels. But I mean, if you're really serious about the game, I would say something like the bow guitar. This is a very nice weapon, very nice tool. And if you get rare essences, I sold some rare essences recently for 2 pet each. Um, I just think that this is a really nice thing to have. Um, so you can tame, get whip skills, taming skills. Um, it just, I mean, it's $50. So I'm not gonna say like, oh no, you have to get it, because for sure you don't. But if you it depends how much money you have in the game. It's an interesting option if you have a lot of a decent amount of money in the game, and it gives you additional things to do. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to show some of my weapons. Just some people requested that, and I think that's cool. But yeah, I like this. I mean, this is just for taming, so I don't have like any amps or anything. Maybe I'll do some other stuff too. But oh, okay. Let me show you also this is kind of this is my first unlimited weapon, and I really like this weapon. I'm gonna talk about that. So it's the A3 Justifier, adjusted. Now, I mean, it's not it's not like a barn burning weapon by any means, but you can hunt some big mobs with this, especially depending on the damage, how damaging they are. But I was hunting actually like 7 ped mobs yesterday with it. I mean, obviously you'd have to, they have to be not too damaging to do that. But yeah, you can hunt some pretty big mobs with this. It actually puts out quite a lot of damage over time. Um, the really nice thing is that the damage range of 21 to 43. So you're talking about, I mean, it's not a cheap weapon by any means. You know, um, this is easily a 2,000 ped weapon. So don't think this is a cheap weapon, especially. And then you amp it. It's 1,000 ped amp. But I mean this. So but the biggest thing. There are I would say two really nice things, or well, I think there are a few nice things about this weapon. So this is why this is one of my main things that I've used for a long time. The durability is pretty good. It's excellent. I like to see like how much is the decay compared to the ammo burn. It's about 3.5%. It's hard to get a weapon in that range of damage that's that low decay. I would say in its class of weapons, comparable weapons, it's probably one of the lowest decay. Now, I mean, you're not talking about a barn burning efficiency, but the decay is super low. So more ammo, less decay means because you can buy ammo, and that if you're buying ammo, you're gaining like 0.5%. So I would just say, I mean, I think it's significant over time, that sort of thing, and that you're using more ammo and less decay. Is it world changing? No, but it's something, and I think that's an advantage. The durability compared to other weapons in its class is a little bit of an advantage. But the big thing about really nice about this, you see the 21 to 43. So when you're talking with the amp, it's 18. So the amp would have to be, 21 or less. At 18, that means you're using a huge amount of amp. I think the Ecotron would be more amp, but it's also more expensive and a lot more expensive. And I just didn't like one person, when I was thinking through this, and they were thinking through it, and they were like, yeah, the Ecotron. I think the Ecotron's a better weapon, but you know, it's like 1,000 ped more for the Ecotron. And I just don't think this is what he was saying, is that I don't think that the Ecotron, you know, for the minor benefits of the Ecotron, he didn't think it was worth 1,000 peds more. And I'm like, well, I don't know. But the one thing though I think is that if I remember correctly, Justifier does actually have lower decay than the Ecotron. So I wouldn't say it's 100% like uh, I tend to really, really like low decay when possible. So to me, actually, the Ecotron is more amp. It amps a little bit better. But the Justifier amps really well and it's better decay. So I don't even know that I would prefer the Ecotron. But probably I would. But I think that to me, how much I value decay, it is a pretty nice advantage out of the Justifier for me. So, and it's a smooth weapon. We're talking really, really good. Let me see. Make sure I have this mission. It's like Zin. Let me go talk to the NPC. I just hate when I don't have missions, but I'll use it. I'll hunt some of these with this. But I want to make sure I got the mission. Because there's like an XP mission outside. So yeah, it's a nice taming mission. I can tame 40 of them, and then, I get a reward after that. And now outside, so there's also an ammo hoarder. I already did the ammo hoarder last night. And let me see if I got. I always forget what these are called, so I'm just gonna go run out and talk to this guy. I almost feel like I don't have it. Okay, I'm guessing that I have it. Mm-hmm. I hate that I don't know what these things are called. Well, I'll just trust that I've got it because he's not talking to me. And, yeah, there's a nice website, Cyrene Dream. Maybe I should look it up on there, but, oh, okay, yeah, no, it's this one. Meet the, okay. Oh, actually, I'm pretty close. Nice. Maybe I'll just pop that off. So, yeah, this is a smooth weapon too. The range is also very, very, very nice. I like this cave instance because it has auto loot and also just not a lot of people. Well, by not a lot of people, it's only you, unless you're in a team. Although I did get stuck on a tree. But talking about the range of this, the range is 77. Now I think it might be a little bit higher because mine's tiered a little bit, but not significantly. So for obviously for any weapon, to be honest, 77 is pretty high end. So you've got two things that are pretty high end on this weapon. The range is pretty high end, and durability is high end in that it's low end. Low being good. So those are two pretty big advantages. And then when you amp it, with like an A106, it goes to 64. Again, not barn burning, but the amp is, you're like 45% amp, of what you could use. So, um, or not 45%, I don't know, whatever. But it's pretty tight. I mean, you could use like 21 and it's 18, 21.5 and it's 18. I mean, there's, I guess you're getting like probably like 90% of the possible amp in there, Um, so it's it can do quite a lot of damage. I mean, maybe these would be a little bit overkilly, but on the other hand, it's pretty comfortable 2 shots if you're hitting. So I don't know. It's a pretty smooth weapon. The range also, you can see it. I can hit anything in here. It's a huge range. So I'm not a huge person to worry about overkill. I know that people be like, oh my gosh, but the loot rises, so and you get getting to the codex anyway. So unless you're doing like a super lot, you get some scrap metal in here. Get a lot of good loot in here. So yeah, this is one of my more favorite weapons that I use. My one weapon I really love is this a shock dagger, the lowly shock dagger. I may pronounce a lot of these things badly, but Okay, so you know, um, it's a dagger. I guess it's about the same damage range as the Justifier. More attacks, so it's probably a little more damaging than the Justifier. So what the nice thing of this is that you can actually overamp it beautifully. But it's a half point overamp. So you're literally getting the maximum amp, and that half point, extra is not going to really hurt the efficiency. Actually, it's going to be it's more. Your DPP is better with a 4 amp on the lowly than a 3 amp. The 3 amp leaves a lot of space. So, but basically, this amp is a 20, and you have 19.5, so it's basically a perfect amp for this. Pop that on, it gives us the message. Who cares? This is a really nice because you're getting basically max amp. That half point over amp. Yeah, it'd be nice if the lowly was 20, so it's a perfect amp. But I think they're probably trying to avoid having a perfect amp there, and so they're giving you the option just to lose a little bit. But even still, that half point is just not significant. So this is go get some good, nice loot here. This is just a lovely weapon, really lovely. So that's nice. I have this weapon just to be bigger. I don't have a ton of a huge amount of pet in the game, so I can't really afford multiple amps. And that's one of the things you have to kind of just, as you're playing the game, make choices like, do I want to have deeds? Do I want to have ped? Do I want to have weapons? Now, obviously, you can only have so many of so many things. I mean, unless you have more ped in the game. But even still, it's opportunity cost. Like, okay, I could use a bigger amp on this weapon, but, amps are expensive. So I just have one amp. I have one gun amp, A106. That's not true. I actually have an E amp. I mean, obviously that's a little bit like, ooh, E amp is not a good amp. I know it. It's not a good amp. But, if your A106 runs out and you just need an E amp for a little bit, yeah, okay, I'll throw on the E amp, if I need the amp. I mean, I guess you could have a portable repair thing, but I just don't like doing that sort of thing. But yeah, so it's a really nice weapon. You know, I use token guns for big guns, because I don't have anything. This thing is, punches out at 81, and throw on a, mayhem thing. You're rocking some pretty heavy damage. That's my like dragon gun. So I'm not gonna hunt dragons this week because I just don't have enough TT on it. On Kali, I was collecting the tokens. I got super close, but not enough. So I'm just not gonna hunt any dragons this week. That's okay. I'm Next week I'll be able to start hunting dragons again. I think I used the gun too. I've been using the gun a little bit, token gun a little bit too much. So I'm gonna next one I get, I'm gonna be a little more focused and only use it on dragons, unless I can really solidly get ahead on tokens. So I don't have a danger right now, because I really believe that the dragons are important for me. The dragon dailies and next island, so that's kind of a little bit of a loss. for sure that I didn't get the opportunity to do that. So let me see. I mean, I got some other weapons. I don't think they're worth mentioning. Well, some of them might be. Let me see. I mean, I mentioned 3 weapons that I think are kind of important. You know, I have, I have a bunch of like other weapons. I have some small melees. Is there a bunch in my quad? Is there anything important in here? Oh yeah, I mean, I got Labries for some swords. Nothing that I feel like I really want to talk about. Those are like some the weapons that I feel, the weapons that were. I mean, all the weapons I have a purpose. I don't. I mean, some of them might not exactly. I'm not gonna like. Oh my gosh, like I have all my weapons have a purpose. But some of them may not have a super big purpose just because. But also they're maybe not very expensive weapons. Um, Kind of freaks me out that I don't see one of my nice weapons. I'm sure it's somewhere. Oh, where'd it go? It really freaks me out. Sure, it's in here. I'm just gonna check Entropia real quick. Sometimes I get a little freaked out when I I mean, I'll just feel better. When you've got like an expensive weapon and it goes missing. It's like, cause I know they're protected, so there's just no way. I'm sure that it's not DT'd, but now that I notice that I have a club. I mean, it's not a super great, but it's really low level just for training. But well, it's nice. I enjoy it, so I enjoy it, so it's important to me, the club. I'm not gonna be like, it's not one of those ones that I would like. It says it's in an urn. Okay, well, at least I know. Okay, that's in an urn. I have a feeling I know what urn it's in. I guess I put it in the urn. Actually, I think it's in this urn. Uh, okay, I feel better now. This is my club. I enjoy it. I use it for skilling, so there's nothing like super special. I just it's something I enjoy. So and I think that's all that's important, right? If you enjoy something, I think that that's all that matters, right? Um, so um, I would never like be like, oh, if you enjoy something, go for it. Um, because that's what the game's about. Having fun ultimately. I mean, it's a very I mean, the game's a lot of strategy in the game, so to me, like I like enjoying the strategical elements of the game. But yeah, I like training different weapon types, so I can do some clubs. But yeah, I like this. If you want to get into clubs, I mean, this is not a cheap club, but it's hard to get a cheap club. But I definitely didn't pay for 500 for. I don't know what I paid. I probably paid like I feel like I paid like 300 or less. So, but I guess there's one sale. Somebody paid 500 for here. But the decade was like 311. I probably paid like I feel like I paid like 280 or something. I don't know, maybe. But I mean, it gets harder over time to. That's another thing too, is if you have a desire for certain of these low level weapons, I would say just look for it. Um, find something you like and get it at a good price, just because um, there tends not to be a lot of these low-level weapons coming into the game anymore. I think that is kind of a flaw. Well, I think it's purposeful. I think that Mindark wants things to appreciate, so I think that they're, monitoring the supply of weapons so that over time weapons tend to appreciate, and they don't want, which is good. I mean, it's good that in some ways it's good. I would say it's more good than bad, because if you've been in the game a long time, the last thing you want is your items to be losing value. So I mean, it does make it a little more difficult for people coming in. But on the other hand, I think it's good that Mindark really is just not devaluing long-term people, and really actually I would say quite the opposite. They're really focused on letting people who have been playing long-term appreciate a little bit in value. I mean, obviously, I think that they have an understanding that they need to balance it. They need to put new weapons into the game, but they also need to not devalue the old weapons, the old people. So, but one of the consequences is that what these weapons do tend to slowly go up in price. Now, I mean, some of that's also inflation, but the point is, though, is they're not oversupplying the weapons. So they are at least allowing the weapons to at least keep up with inflation or maybe better. And that's smart. So, I mean, these weapons don't become like wildly overpriced, but, you know, I'm definitely not losing money. And owning these small level weapons, I would say long term in 10 years, this weapon will probably be worth more than it is now. So, I'm not saying like go out and buy a ton of weapons as an investment, but I don't I don't ever really like that sort of thing. So I don't want to recommend it to anyone, but you could maybe if you pick the right sort of weapons, you could maybe buy them as an investment to hold. Um, I know some people do. I think it's a little bit, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that sort of thing, but I would say, I mean, I'm not. The point is that if I see a little weapon and I like it, I know that in 10 years it'll be worth more probably. So it's not like I'm gonna lose money by holding it. Because I really like this weapon. I like hunting with it. I enjoy it. So. Um, I have lots of other little Mind Force chips that I use. They're nothing crazy. I've got this is my biggest one. I would eventually, I mean, there are certain unlocks, like, I forget there's a big one in Mind Force. Let me show you this. I mean, one of my friends, um, and I mean, he's probably about a comparable level player to me, except he's a Mind Force player, but I mean, he did get a huge unlock in Mind Force. It made me a little bit, like wow, but it's cool. Let me show you this because I mean, one of the skills it's a high level skill, super hard to get, is in intuition. Now, intuition is a pretty important skill, because it's a level 80 skill, and that level 80 skill you can unlock it like in any Mind Force. Well, you can unlock it in a lot of places, but where are you going to unlock it? Because I mean, it's an evader skill. I mean, getting to level 80 evaders, or level 80 biotropic, 80 dodger, a handler, VSE. I feel like you're gonna spend a ton of money. Um, so to get there easily, probably like an electrokinetic hit or something like that, or pyro or something. He got that. I mean, on the other hand, so that's a huge skill that he got. On the other hand, not having the weapons, I think we're pretty comparable level players. You know, uh, he does more crafting, more mining. you know, less. He hasn't done a lot of guns, but he's done truly a lot of Mind Force. So he's gonna work in Commando next. But I mean, the sort of you know, negative of Mind Force is that you're not gonna unlock the Commando, which is a huge hit point thing. But on the other hand, you get the intuition, which is just a huge defensive skill. So, you know, eventually, long term, I do want to sort of track in and hit level 80. Like, I don't think I can get on the damage side, the hit one, but um, my hit trails a little bit there. Um, but it's a very long-term goal. I also would need the right weapons. Well, I could do it with what I have, but ideally I would need a bigger chip, and maybe an amp. So it's something I want to do. Getting to like level 80 intuition. But let's just say that like that sort of thing. I also the way Mind Force skills, it is easier to go up in Mind Force than it is in guns. So it will skill faster in Mind Force. I can guarantee you that. But it's not insane. It's going to be just ton of work. Absolutely amazing to hit level 80. Good accomplishment. Um, so, but yeah, I mean that's like super long term. Like, um, not in my near term at all. But you know, it's something like I'm eyeing. You know, like really far in the future. You know, eventually we'll get there, do it. But you know, there's all just too. You know, you have to in the game. You know, like okay, oh, you know what? Um, I mean, maybe if I had just a ton of ped, you know, if I had, you know, many thousands of dollars extra ped in the game, you know. But I mean, to me, you know, well, I mean, I could afford that for sure. You know, I've got a ton of investments and money, you know, that I could, you know, put in the game. So, but to me, it's like, well, they make money in the real world. Even, you know, cash is like 5%. You know, you just get a CD. Um, you could easily get a 5.5% CD, maybe more. You know, so it's just opportunity cost, and also like to me, it's um, like if you just throw money at the game to accomplish things, I don't know if I would find that fun. I mean, I know it's a lot of work too. You know, if you get big weapons and it's just each person their thing. I'm pretty happy with this sort of game, and that the way I'm able to progress. You know, I've basically got, you know, how much I got in the game? Like $6,000 in the game, basically. So I got 6,200 in the game essentially. Um, and I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously I got a lot of deeds, and then this is kind of the value of my items. So, I mean, I've got three kind of classes, and I've got some adjustments that, um, this is a sweat adjustment, this is welding wire. I don't keep adjustments anymore. My old sort of system of tracking kept those adjustments. And I almost wish I didn't have them in my charts. Um, but kind of because I used to keep that sort of adjustment. I tried to simplify it, but it just felt like for the coherency of things, um, I just felt like I would lose some coherence if I removed that adjustment, And it's just two adjustments and they're not big ones, so if at least got to a point where it's, just um, it's not like how I would do it now, but it's close enough. It's okay. Um, but yeah, basically, I mean, this is just all. I mean, obviously, deeds you have to value them, and weapons you do. But I mean, of it, I keep basically in ped. That's like TT. I mean, that would include like the TT of your armor, it's the actual ped you have, your ammo. all your materials. So, definitely the bulk load I keep in that. I've got a good chunk of weapons and items and things like that, or property. Um, then I got my deeds. So, if I was successful, or, start to get positive, I would probably build up the peds for a while, then see what to do. But, um, just one thing at a time. I mean, I don't know that being profitable is, I mean, to me, the idea of, it's fun trying to be profitable. It doesn't detract from my fun, mostly not being profitable or losing a little bit. You know, but it is the sort of chase that's fun. I think being profitable would be fun too, because I have a lot of things that I would want to get if I became profitable. Like um, I love some shopkeepers for my house in Next Island. I love a land area, maybe a shop in Cali, maybe a shop in. I don't know if I would want to like bite the bullet on Twin Peaks, but I could definitely, at the right price, want like a Port Atlantis or maybe even a Deer Mall. I know there's less traffic, but I don't know. But yeah, that's a weapon. Oh yeah, I'm just talking about weapons. Oh, but also I just want to say, if people did make it this point, and wow, ah, it's a long one, and and probably no one made it here, but maybe a few people did. Yeah, please like the channel. If you haven't, like the video, or subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment just to raise visibility. I really appreciate that. And then in the comments, I'll list some opportunities for making ped. I mentioned misplay, where I got 100 ped this week from it. Also mentioned play games where I've gotten a lot of ped from, and Ludius IO. That's my main source. Well, one of my bigger sources right now. But that and misplay. But PBG, play point games, I've gotten a lot from. So I'll include all that in those comments. Ooh, we're starting to get too much stuff. I'll go get rid of those pets and maybe throw some stuff in storage. But yeah, I've got some, Mind Force. And that is part of a long-term thing as well. I did get, I think I got a nice unlock. Which one I got? Oh yeah, I got the Mind Force Harmony. It's a level 51 Mind Force skill. So that was one thing I did go for. I think last year or the year before, I got the Mind Force Harmony. It does add um, a little bit on hit points, not a lot, but just kind of helps your skills. So I unlocked that. Did I unlock Force Merge? I feel like oh yeah, no, I definitely unlocked. No, did I unlock Force Merge? Force Merge. Hmm. Okay, so Force Merge is a level 65 skill. Or level 65 unlock. This is good that I'm talking about this, because it helps me think through things. Wow, 65. Oh, see, that's really nice. I'm only 9 levels off. Hmm. Well, that could be an interesting project, getting the next one. I mean, not that, I don't know. 9 levels, but on the other hand, they get easier as you go, because a lot of the skills I'm getting in, over time kind of cross over, but definitely an interesting prospect, getting that, for sure. Well, that's an interesting thought for sure. Don't know that I'll put any focus into it near term, but maybe. Well, and the other thing too is if my results can turn around a little bit, you know, it give me more breathing room to do a lot more. I could just put more pet in the game, but I just, again, just I'd rather just kind of hold where I am and just, you know, um, be a little more conservative in my game, and um, I think as I level, things will start to open up a little bit. Things definitely have opened up a lot more than they used to be, so I can do a lot more, and um, the returns lately have been a little bit of a constraint on that, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my, progress. Definitely, I think like once I can, continue with the mining, I think that's going to be huge. I just gotta keep pushing that. It's a little bit of a pain still, um, but I think that the more I push that, the that'll really, um, be good for my game. Come on, rare essence. Yeah, the one kind of, well, it's a nice and bad, it's definitely a boring thing to be throwing these guys in. On the other hand, if you just when you get used to it and you don't think too much, it's not too bad. I don't even barely mind it anymore. Um, but it's super nice when you get that rare essence. But then I don't even barely look anymore. I just throw them in as fast as possible. Just kind of don't think about it. If you don't think about it, it's not painful. But it would be nice if they did have something to just do all. I feel like I just keep finding things to talk about. I don't know. I feel like I'm running out though, so. But maybe I'll just quickly run over and do. I've got a daily. It's called like picks or something. Picks pollen or something. I'll just run over and do that while um probably run out of things to talk about, but I'll do that and see if I have anything else that I want to say. We'll see. Basically, get them these dire weeds. I like the dire weeds. I don't super like them, so I just do this daily, but I like it a lot with the daily. So I just try to do this daily. You're gonna get like I also got like a badge one. It's like for 12, so I'll get the badge. Plus I'll get some I think eight Cyrene tokens. Hmm. Feels like there's just not enough in the spawn right now. But if I don't need that many, so hopefully we find them. I guess somebody's just killing them really fast. Yeah, this is kind of a small spawn, but that's okay. There's a bunch over here, so we're good. But yeah, this is like the Justifier, and probably an appropriate size mob, or, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is the amp on here? Yeah, so it's about 7 if you're hitting. I mean, obviously a little bit more if you're missing. Or, if you crit, it's obviously less, but it took about 7 on that one. There was no crits, just all sort of hits. Sometimes I'll use a site. Um, I tend to prefer like really low decay sites. Um, so yeah, I'm not like a huge scoper site guy. Um, I just prefer like extremely low decay. Because I just often don't even use them. I'm not a big fan of adding decay, but I mean they do have some help. So you know, but I'm like, I'm not gonna go for like a big bonus one. I'd just rather just have the lowest decay possible for that sort of thing. I used to have like bullseye and then like long range bullseye 8, bullseye 8, and it's like, well, that's a lot of decay. And then I quickly got really kind of like, ooh, it's just so much. So I've just really when possible, obviously, like, you know, yeah, there I got the badge mission update. So when I go at the end, I can go down here, get a badge. Um, um, but yeah, I also get some tokens. Um, so there are 2 different ones I'm making some progress on. But yeah, this is a justifier. It's a nice thing, nice weapon. Good for all sorts of little things. So I think I'll probably just show you where you can get these quests and turn them in, and I'll call it a video. Um, so I got 3 more on this daily, and then I'll show you where I can turn it in to get both the badges. The badges have a lot of uses. There are NPCs that have stuff that you can only really get with enough badges. Um, and um, And the tokens you can sell, they tend to have uses that so people kind of hoard them, and when they have uses, they can get stuff with them. So yeah, there's this guy I get the daily from, so we'll do that first. So I'll get my little tokens. So I'll show you the little tokens and the MU. So you can see that, and I'll show you where I get the badges. There are a lot of missions you can get badges on. There are also these ranger missions, the Siren, and those are a huge source. I didn't feel like looking at that this morning. It's a bit of running around, but the Rangers are a huge way to get badges extremely fast. It's like a team thing, and you don't, you can just get like badges if you just like get one shot in on the mob. So even low level players can really get a lot by just showing up. It doesn't decrease your badges, your damage. I mean, obviously, you're gonna need some good damage players in there to complete it, but you know. It doesn't hurt the bigger players, the newer players who show up and just want to, put in a few shots with a low level gun. And that's really cool that they, made something that's so team oriented on Cyrene. I think it is really something that maybe is a little bit missing in the game. And so that's really cool that they have that huge element here. I think that anything that is teams, I mean, I know that Kali is starting to really pump Uber teams, and that's cool, but you know, like if you don't have that super expensive armor and like a ton of pets to throw around, I wish, but I mean, maybe there's not a lot you can do for, well, I guess you gotta be a little more creative to get people to team for stuff that's not Uber stuff. I don't know. I guess they're just an aversion to teaming, you know. Um, People become very individualistic and like, you know, there's a feeling that, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's complicated. But anyway, so that's the video for this one. So I feel like you know, I'm sure I could find more things to talk about, but I feel like I talked about the things I wanted to talk about, and that's cool. So yeah, I'll definitely, if you haven't liked, followed, comment, please do help raise visibility support, and then I'll include those links so you can maybe make some pet if you like. Support also these videos. I do get a little bit from them if you do that, but it doesn't take away at all from what you do. You would get the same rewards if you went directly to the site. Just if you go through my links, I get a little bonus. So that's I definitely appreciate it if you do so. All right, see you guys, and hope you have a great day game. Good loot. MU. A good new year. I guess it's the first video of this year. Happy 2024. Hope you have a great year. See you guys next time.